Here we go. Gentlemen, how's it going today?
Great.
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I'm in a different spot. I'm in the dining room. So,
Yeah, bit of a different environment.
mhm.
Looks nice back there.
It started snowing this morning when I got off work. So,
I don't even have snow here yet. Happy Halloween, by the way.
yes, thank you very much.
Even though
I would
it's
love,
huh?
I would love snow.
Well, move.
I'm,
You can't. You can't. Wait a minute, Jody. Are those fall decorations or Christmas decorations behind you?
Behind me? No, it's fall.
Okay. Okay.
No, I don't do that bullshit. I don't play that. As much as my wife tries to push that on everybody, like, no, we're not doing that. Damn that. I don't acknowledge Christmas until after Thanksgiving because I refuse. Thanksgiving being my favorite holiday, I refuse to acknowledge Christmas until that shit's done.
And what
No
day
matter
is
how
that?
much she tries to push it down our throats.
What day is Thanksgiving in the United States?
The last Thursday of November.
Oh, that's way too long to wait. Oh. We don't have to.
I'm
do
not
that.
the ultimate hater, Jay Clean. These are just the facts, man. Because think about it for a second. And when I say push Christmas down your throats, I don't know. I believe they had Christmas stuff up in Costco fucking in September. So I'm not trying to hear that. I'm just telling the facts, man.
I was looking at that stuff over a month ago.
See? These are the facts.
And I was playing Christmas music in my vehicle.
Yeah,
that's son of a.
And they started thawing out Mariah Carey about 3 weeks ago as well.
Oh God.
Well, gentlemen, we got a big arm wrestling extravaganza event this weekend. They're all over the place.
You know what? Before we get to that, Jody, let's talk about World Arm Wrestling League.
The elephant in the room?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Because Cobra was on a show, him and Uncle John's show, and pretty much guaranteed, and this is weird to me because Steve Kaplan is not normally the guy that reveals anything. It's almost like it's a feeler. But Cobra basically announced that Wall's coming back in early 2025.
Yeah, I just got the phone with him before I hopped on. He said the first quarter of 2025. So I asked him again, want to make sure. It's like, okay, well, it sounds legit. I'm thinking, all right. I'm like, is it really gonna happen? He was like, yeah. He called me back. He said, yeah. I was like, okay. Now, to what capacity, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be super match format, or I don't know if it's going to be, tournament style like they had it when it first came out, where they had the regionals. Yeah, so I don't know.
It'll have to be tournament. I mean, there's not enough. What's the best way to? There's not enough draw talent right now, especially in North America, with everybody competing in East versus West and King of the Table to make it a viable super match card.
Fresh faces,
Wow.
new places.
And he mentioned Robert Baxter's name on that show. So is he involved as well?
I would imagine he didn't tell me that, but if you watch the show at Uncle John, what I got out of it was, he said Travis knows, Devin knows. I'm thinking, okay, is it going back to the old stuff? Because if that's the case, then that kind of defeats the purpose of everybody getting excited just for having the same old guys from before come on here. It's like, we're just once again we're on the outside looking in. So I'm hoping that it was tournament format, because at least with that, you had an outside chance,
Unless it is a partnership with East versus West. And that would be the only viable way for it to happen, in my opinion, because you have contracts to deal with.
And if you're going to do it in conjunction with East versus West, hypothetically, the rule set's going to be completely different. The pads are going to be completely different. Tables different.
Well,
I don't see Steve giving up creative control like that.
All right. I'd say if it was me, I'd say tournament format back when everybody had the regionals and then you met in Las Vegas, because like I said before, you had a chance, you know. Now, with the payouts, if it got to that point, what would the payouts be? Who knows? But I just know that you went to 10 grand, didn't start at 10 grand first, first place, and then the next year went 20 grand. Then all of a sudden it went back down to 10, and then okay, we're gonna scrap that and go to super match format. Then
they lost their ass in super match format, though. It's essentially where it started going downhill is when it went to super match format.
Is it because they started recycling or regurgitating the same guys over and over with the match format, or what?
I just think they were spending more money. They had more money going. I mean, it's just a basic business model. You can't have more money going out than you have coming in.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, you can't be turning a net negative every single time when you do an event.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, at the end there, wasn't it pay-per-view?
No.
Or was it on ESPN?
No, I don't even remember it being on ESPN. It was like on YouTube, most of it. Like, and then ESPN it was pre-recorded and then put on ESPN.
Right.
Well, ESPN was like the tournaments when they had the regionals. That was ESPN. When it became super match format, that's when it was like Bleacher Sports or something like that.
Bleacher, and then it was recycled upon ESPN for super matches.
Well, I mean, it'll be interesting, but I mean, there's enough leagues in the United States that unless it's a partnership, they're going to struggle.
Like I said, if they do tournaments, I think they'll be fine. Like, I think there will be a draw for tournaments, of course, but
yes,
especially if you're doing like, you know, a Northeast to Southeast to Midwest, Northwest, Southwest, South. I think that would be fine if you break it up in, let's say, 6 quadrants or something. But other than that, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work unless you do it in tournament format.
I still got my WA shirt that says Chocolate Thunder on the back, and I still got my WAL contract that's in my office, in my file cabinet as a souvenir.
Their contracts, too, are pretty good. You know, when you go to the tournament, you have to sign the contract stating, like, oh, I'm going to pull for WAL and yada, yada. Remember the old contracts when you go to the tournaments and stuff?
I remember.
So I don't think that shit's going to fly either. Sorry, I know we're not 15 minutes in, but I don't think that's going to fly either anymore.
No, it won't.
Getting coffee.
Unless there is a monetary component.
Exactly.
For people to sit there and wait. That's a good point. Jay Clean, I'm going to put this one up on the screen. This is going to be tough.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if Steve Kaplan thought it was expensive to get guys like
Devin, Michael,
Jerry, wait till he sees what inflation has done to those contracts.
Yeah.
Do you start fresh with fresh faces? Because those guys, if you get fresh new faces, they can require all this, money and all that kind of stuff either. So.
Yeah, okay, let's say you do start with fresh faces. They start finding out what X organization or Y organization is offering them, then Steve has to match that or go above and beyond it. So, I mean, it's supply and demand, right? So,
well, I mean, back in that day, we had PAL and we had WAL, and we had this debate on who was better.
Yeah, I remember.
Right? Because you could build these characters and you could just keep recycling them, and they would never face off with each other. So there was always the debate.
I mean, PAL, you had all the Europeans. You had Vitaly, Levon, Tim Bresnan was over there. Dan Mosier was over there from the United States.
Wasn't Corey Miller there too?
I think
at one point.
Possibly. You had a very small sample size of North Americans actually competing there.
Yeah, it was mainly predominantly Europeans, and then you had the vast majority of Americans and North Americans competing at Wall.
I like Richard Jennings' comment. He says Wall needs a lot of money to be able to compete with East versus West or King of the Table. My response to that is that if you don't compete with them, you're fine. The minute you start competing with them, that's when you're going to run into trouble, in my opinion.
But as soon as you start going down that super match road where you're trying to put on these 10, 12, 14 match cards with.
My question is, simple economics is supply and demand. What are they providing us that we're going to be asking for that we aren't getting enough of already?
Nothing.
Okay. So then I guess the question is why? Why are they doing it? Unless it's something completely different, like you guys said, it'd have to be a tournament format. If they're just coming back in to put on super matches, like there's so many super match cards now. You can almost get a pay-per-view
every weekend.
A really good pay-per-view every weekend. Mm-hmm. So it'll be East versus West. It'll be King of the Table. It'll be Knuckles Up. It'll be, Monster Factory hasn't been around for a while, but that's another example. There's
that one was free.
A handful of organizations across North America that are putting on.
You got Global Elite. Knuckles Up. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, this new, the freaking, the City Slicker versus Country Folk thing, so like I said, if you're different and I try to compete because there's something different, then I think you have a winner. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. No one knows until it does, roll out that carpet.
The reason I say tournament is this, right? We don't have an organization putting on significantly large tournaments throughout North America that's offering a large prize pool. If you put on events like that are offering big prize pools, and I'm not talking $500 or $1,000 to an overall winner. I'm talking $5,000 plus, right? Like a big payout. You're going to draw. Yeah, you're going to draw people
wall payouts.
Yeah, let's say it starts at $5K, right, left and right. People are going to show up.
And then it gets really interesting if they eliminate the guys. If they say no to the guys on contract from competing, that's where it gets interesting, because now you've eliminated the top 5 or 6 guys in every single class.
Now it's wide open.
And it's wide open. It'll be heavily attended, but will it be heavily watched?
Well, you put it on YouTube. That's you run a couple. You could run a couple, right? A couple tournaments, run it on YouTube. Just see how it plays out. See what your views are and stuff like that. See what your attendance is. I mean, if you can get 500 people at $50 an arm, not a bad day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's doable.
There aren't many tournaments in North America right now, period, except Canada is the only place I can really think of where there's 500 plus entries at an event. And the Canadian Nationals and Ottawa Open are the two I'm distinctly thinking of.
Well, those are the two.
Yeah.
However, you also find some of these smaller ones that will get, a couple hundred entries.
Like Texas State, we usually do, pending on location. It's always north of 200, and sometimes it's coming in on 400, and that's pending on. I mean, that's doing $500 payouts per weight class per arm. So I mean, if Texas can do that with just 500, imagine what 5,000 would do in a location, right? If you put it, let's do it, say a central location. Let's say
Kansas
City, right? You're going to have all the guys from Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado. You're going to have all these, for $5,000, it's worth the trip, worth the price of admission to try to win.
Hold on, Nathan. Jay Clean. Nathan is originally from Missouri, so I'm going to go ahead and end that conversation right now.
I was born and raised in Texas. Born and raised in Missouri, moved out of Missouri at 18 to join the military. So, yeah.
So there you go. Now we got that out the way.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it's good coffee. It's good water cooler talk. When he said that, I'm thinking, is he for real? So I thought I'd give him a call this morning. Cobra confirmed. I texted him, and then he called me back and he confirmed it. So I'm thinking, all right, so we'll just kick back. But once again, are we flooded with tournaments, or are we flooded with arm wrestling? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Depends on what you look at. I just know that when you have options, anytime you have options, it's good. It's a good thing, because if we just had one tournament in one league and everybody was there, a lot of people wouldn't compete no more, because it's like, well, I got to compete against this guy, that guy, and that guy have no snowball chance in hell. Whereas, hey, there's other options for everybody. So
I think one thing you'll have to do too with Wall coming back is change your rule set. I'm sorry, I'm not the biggest fan of the close your thumb, close your hand thing. People will do it, yeah, but I meant like the refereeing not calling anything, just like whatever. You know, it's kind of like Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies. You kind of have to get rid of that.
Fair.
So
I don't know. We never saw the level of screwing around in that event, though. Not to what it is today, Nathan.
I mean, there was still a lot. There was still a lot.
Don't give me mostly because the ref would just say go.
Yeah, exactly.
Jason Till says most people aren't paying for all these different pay-per-views.
If only there was a way to. No, I won't even go there.
To track that.
Here, I'll put you this way. If somebody were to ask me, we're going to be doing these predictions. It's a prediction show, right? I'm not going to watch the event because I'll be in San Diego at a different event. So I'm not going to watch it. So, that's just what it is.
Well, I'm going to referee a little bit tomorrow, and they're planning on putting on the event. Now, will my wife want to sit in that same bar in Steinbach and watch that event for 6 hours? No. So I'll probably buy the pay-per-view and watch it later and skip 99% of the commercials and bullshit. Yeah. It'll be a 6-hour event. It will take me 45 minutes to watch it.
Dan Willie says still going to have pullers afraid to pull due to the losing of their. You know what? What time is it? Is it okay? 17 minutes. Can I cuss now?
Yeah, you're good. I broke the rules already.
Hey man, fuck them rankings, man. It ain't that damn serious because you're gonna have people cherry picking. To hell with the rankings. Damn that. We got into the sport to pull, not to sit there and fucking cherry pick rankings. Damn that.
That is why I like Knuckles Up. There is no ranking system. There is no champion. They just make good matches. The prize is what you win that day.
Well, yeah, guitar, brass knuckles, whatever,
It's a paperweight.
Hey, I talked to those guys yesterday, by the way, and I got some good news. So I'll tell you guys after the show goes off.
Oh, okay. Well, Jody just left you all hanging. Feel free to tell them how you feel about it.
Send all your DMs of angriness to.
What's your email address, Jody?
Screw that, man.
All right, let's get into the other one. What are we talking about? That little show this weekend?
Yeah, East First West 15.
Call
World Series of Arm Wrestling, Season 3. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. My bad. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know who wins that one.
We're not going to be able to hear about that one for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. But yeah, let's hit it. I don't know what the match order is because
I got it.
Is it the order?
Yeah.
Because normally I know when you watch the press conference, you can kind of see what the order is. So
I'm going off the latest card, and I'm starting with Irina Gladkaya and Brigitte Ivanfi. I mean, Irina's coming back, and she is an absolute animal.
I'll take Irina.
That's what I'm taking.
If I say, what's the other one?
Brigitte.
Yeah, I can't. If I can't pronounce it, Irina. That damn it, I can't even pronounce it. What the hell?
You're going Brigitte? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
I mean, it's nice to see Irina coming back out of, I guess, retirement, hiatus, however you want to put it, and then pulling again because she's been a predominant face of women's arm wrestling for a good amount of time, right? So it's good to see her back and competing again.
Yeah.
All right. You have Azat Serapian and Daniel Ustinov. Remember, Daniel Ustinov just won WAF this year.
Well, then he's the guy.
This is the match that Hunter Knopf was supposed to have against Daniel Ustinov, and then he got injured and got replaced by Azat. Oh, no, sorry. He was supposed to pull Azat and got replaced by Ustinov. to pull Azat for the 70-kilo world title. So this is a world title match.
Hmm.
So you have two WAF champions pulling each other.
Is it a coin flip?
I think Azat's the bigger man, and he was the one that was originally supposed to pull Hunter for the 70-kilo world title. Calm down, Cujo.
Good thing my dogs are sleeping.
Mine just went outside, and I got earbuds in. So to me,
They got a huge sign on the front of my house that says "Don't knock," but they ring the goddamn doorbell. I guess that doesn't.
I mean, even if Azat was still pulling Hunter, I was still going with Azat. So Azat is still my pick.
I will trust your judgment on that because I would have loved to see what Hunter would have done, just to see, because sometimes you need that one match, even if you're the underdog, just to see where you stand. You know what I mean? Just to see, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a good match. Like I said, this is for the 70-kilo world title, the 70-kilo East versus West championship, and you do have two WAF champions pulling each other. So
that makes it more intriguing.
Are you going with Daniel or are you going with Azat there, Ryan?
Daniel,
all right.
Azat for me.
All right, next we have Nugo coming off his win over RVJ.
Yeah.
And against Agajan Kokach, I think it's how it's put. He's coming out. He hasn't pulled in a while, but he's from everything I've seen on him, he is an animal.
Still taking Nugo.
You're taking Nugo.
And the RVJ match has no bearing on my prediction, by the way.
It's hard to.
I said coming off it. I didn't say it might have. Sorry.
It's hard to pick somebody when they've been out for a while because you don't really know where they're at. You know, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
but I am going Kosach. So.
Nugo.
We got. The chat keeps bouncing around. This is the one Hunter probably wanted to wait for the U.S. event instead of traveling to Istanbul. Maybe he would have got stopped at the border and deported to Dagestan or something.
Man.
So here's another championship match. We have Omer, who just won WAF. And he is pulling...
Nice pronunciation, by the way.
You're welcome. And he's pulling Artur Makarov, and they're pulling it 77 kilos. Omer just won the 80 kilo at WAF. And Artur is the 75/77 kilo champion.
Artur.
Yeah, Makarov.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think he has just too much inside game. I mean, even though this guy's built like a right-handed Oleg Jacques, but all right, another title match. We have a lot of title matches on this card. That's two. This is the third one. Catalina Peterson versus Dimitrina Petrova. And we saw Dimitrina versus Takanaka, and Takanaka did give her a hard time. Remember? Ooh. So shut up. But I'm taking Catalina. I mean, last time they pulled, I know Dimitrina beat Kato, but I think she's better now than what she was at that time. So I'm picking Catalina.
So where's her headspace at? After that nonsense that just happened.
I think she's pissed off, is what I think. And rightfully so. And I think she's coming into this match with a chip on her shoulder and mad and wants to just shut everybody up.
Hey, what better way to do it on the bigger stage than that and then sit there and go, F you?
I'm going the other way because I think it'll be too much of a distraction.
All right. And Dimitrina, I mean, if you have a pure outside puller versus a pure inside puller. You know, Dimitrina is a pure hook puller. Kato wants to go outside. So, great classic hook top rope match.
And it's one of those matches that could, swing the other way partway through.
And it's not. I mean, even if it's an endurance battle, I mean, it's a coin flip between those two. We've seen Catalina pull forever. We've seen Dimitrina pull forever. So, Jody,
I'm going with now, it's not pronounced Carolina, right?
Catalina, yeah.
Carolina, yeah.
All right, another title match. Oleg Jacques versus Bet-Keely Oniani.
Oh, come on. I know who I'm going.
After the way Bet-Keely looked in his last match, that's what I'm going with.
Lefty.
This is a left-handed match, yes.
Who'd you take, Jody?
I'm taking Oleg.
Okay, well, you're on the other side of it from us.
Okay.
I
Wouldn't be the first time.
I mean, how do you bet against Bet Keeley after that last performance? Do I think the match is going to end up in this position at some point where Bet Keeley's hand is back a little bit? Absolutely. But I do think his arm is just going to outlast Oleg.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Oleg will have some kind of surprise stamina.
He's always had good stamina. But
I
just think Bet Keeley just has too much arm and everything else for him right now.
Because Jay Clean offered up a little tidbit.
What?
That Oleg struggled with Bet Keeley like 3 years ago.
They pulled at a super match not long ago at East First West, and Oleg beat him.
Well, 3 years ago, wasn't he really coming off his car wreck?
Yeah.
That car wreck was quite a bit before that. Like that was pre-2000. Well, no, that would have been what, 2019?
Like pre-COVID, right?
No, it was prior to that. Remember, that's when Devin pulled Dennis on the left arm, and he was, and they were supposed to pull. He was supposed to pull. Crap, I can't think of his name. Andre Pushkar on the right. Dennis was. Remember?
Because I say that because after that car wreck, Oleg took a lot of time off.
That was 2018, right?
Well, I saw Andre Pushkar in the fall of 18.
Yeah, and then he was supposed to pull Saplinkov.
It was sometime between like September of 2018.
December.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember the exact month that Devin and Dennis pulled left-handed, but I know Pushkar was supposed to pull the same event. And Oleg was too.
TV says that accident took so much out of him, he has never been the same since. I'm still picking him. Oleg, let's go.
Okay.
All right. Interesting match here. Todd Hutching versus Yoshinobu Kanai.
It's Todd. I'm sorry. You don't give a guy coming off of a multi-year layoff Todd Hutchings.
I agree.
It's going to be a disaster, I think.
Unless
I'd be shocked, absolutely shocked, if Yoshi
gets around. Yeah, if Yoshi gets around, like that's a win in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. Wasn't he dealing with the same kind of neck issue that
Chafee?
That Chafee's dealing with, where he's got the disc?
I don't know, but I saw Don Underwood pull him way back in Vegas and tore his bicep. And I don't remember seeing him since. And that was a long time ago.
That was 2010.
Yeah.
14 years.
Why would you set him up like that? If you're going to take that much time off, right? And then you just give him a killer like Todd Zilla. Like, why would you do that?
This is where you should have brought in like a guy like Derek Smith,
he asked for Devin, right? Yoshi asked for Devin.
Yeah, but that's just stupidity.
I know.
No way. There's
you preaching to the choir there. Who you going with?
Okay,
you going with Todd as well?
You say he asked for Todzilla, though it wasn't Engen's choice. It's always Engen's choice. If he doesn't want to make the match, he's not making the match.
Jody, am I putting Todd for you as well?
Oh, of course.
Okay. All right.
I mean, what else is he going to do? Yoshi says he wants a match and Engen's not going to give it to him. Is he going to just decide he's going to come over here and just ignore East versus West in their offer and pull somewhere else?
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be oof. I hope, two things. A, there's no injury with Yoshi coming back from such a long layoff, right?
Yeah.
And then B, I hope he just has a great showing and is not it's not detrimental to his future.
There's no worse opponent you could offer him because he's kind of strong everywhere.
No.
Yeah.
So.
And Yoshi got that King's move. So.
Well, he's got a better King's move now that he's had his bicep reattached in a certain way.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gonna be. Maybe I'm wrong, and it'll be awesome.
And isn't it at like 105 kilos too?
I don't know.
Or is it 105 or 115? It's light heavyweight, so it's 115. No, 105. It's at 105.
So that's what, 231?
231.
Okay.
So that's a slim down Yoshi.
First time I saw Yoshi pull, he was at 176.
80
That's
kilos.
crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I have to sneeze. Next match, Reno Masic and Ibrahim Sagov. 2 pressers.
Ooh.
And
There's
it's
2
always
matches. There's 2 matches. I don't know where to go. This is one of them.
It's the title match too, so it's going to be 7 rounds. If need be.
Reno.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the way Saunders pulled him. That's why I'm having to lead towards Reno.
Yeah. It's a coin toss, though. I mean, this is a great match.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going with the other guy.
Oh, you're going with Sagov?
Yeah.
Here's the reason I say Reno, and I don't know if you agree, Ryan. I just think Reno has more tools. He's not just a pure press puller like Sagov is. He has a good hook and all kinds of, he's got options.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely valid. I mean, we might just see a one-dimensional match. Sometimes guys look like they can't access the rest of their tools, and I think we're going to probably see that here.
Yeah, I could see that. It's an interesting match, though. Like, that's a great match.
Yeah,
like an absolute great match. And we have a rematch on the next one. And David Samusha is defending for like the 10th time, and he is pulling Vladimir Myrov again. And remember, Myrov's first match back was Samusha.
I still think Samusha gets the win.
Can they try to convince me what's going to change this time around?
I mean, Myrov did give him a problem in his first match back. So,
but when you have a rematch, especially with 2 competitors, at some point, number one, they're going to know each other. But then number 2, you're going to realize, okay, I got to prepare for whatever left hook you throw at me.
Yeah. I'm giving Myrov the benefit of the doubt that it was his first match back, and I'm going to pick Myrov.
There, check this out. It's a valid comment.
It is. Or did he just not suspect it, and then Myrov caught him off guard with...
I bet he doesn't get no rope this time around.
No.
Are you going David as well? Are you going Samusha, Jody?
Samusha.
All right. Now we're into the final 5. This one is very intriguing. You have Vitaly Leletny versus Georgi Zoranov.
Ooh, ouch. I think Vitaly is going to use his frame and get the win.
Man, I just think Zoranov looked so good recently. Man, it's hard to pick against him.
Well, they've pulled before. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
And I think Georgie has 2 wins on the left to Vitaly's 1, and on the right, Vitaly, I believe, has 2 wins to Georgie's 1 on the right.
And this is a right-handed match?
Yes. Now, obviously, this was back at when they pulled 100 and 110 kilos at WAF. So, yeah. I mean, it's a very small sample size.
Much different world. But
yes.
I think based on what you just told me, I'm going to go Zoranov.
All right. You're going Georgie.
Yeah. I think he doesn't even look like the same guy as when East versus West first came around.
No, he looks like he's done.
He's been working hard,
and I'm not 100% sure that Vitaly is that different talent-wise from WAF to East versus West, or strength level-wise.
I mean, he looked really good against Morozov last time.
He did. He didn't look unstoppable.
I'm just saying, Georgie looked like he done summoned something on Hallows Eve to
yes, that's what I'm
possess
saying.
Him.
I think maybe he is more proficient at using the extra tools that are at his disposal.
Yeah, I definitely think he has gone to the dark side heavily.
Who's sucking their snots back?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm saying he's more proficient at using the tools that are at his disposal.
This match, I picked Vitaly. This match is very intriguing. Irakli Zarakishvili versus Georgi Tatayev.
Mm.
People don't know who Georgie is. He is like a 95 kilo Vitaly Letin. Would be the best way to explain him.
See, once we start getting to the later rounds of these cards, I think the more difficult they can be.
And you have a top roll battle. You have 2 pure top rollers in this one.
Then who's stronger? Because if you got 2 top rollers,
well,
obviously
Georgie's going to have the length advantage,
right?
Because he's like 6 foot, whatever he is, huge, 6'5" probably.
It's very intriguing to where. Do you think Georgie has like something up his sleeve?
Yeah, a longer lever for top roll. That's why I'll take him.
Yeah, I'm going Georgie as well. I mean, based upon if you watch how many issues John gave Irakli, I think he's gonna have to press him.
Yes. See, I've never had a show where we go 50-50. That just tells you how tough this card is. A lot of people in the chat are saying 50-50.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Stop. So who are you going with, Jody? You going with the champion in Irakli or Tatayev?
I think the champ might lose his belt.
All right. Same across the board. Next match, Gennady Kikvinia versus Michael Todd. I'll be right back.
Ooh, it's a tough one.
Oh, I know who I'm picking. It's easy.
You're going to pick Michael, aren't you?
Why wouldn't I?
I don't know, man, because Gennady is a killer.
No, I'm not. And I'm not taking anything away. But I think this time around, Michael's. I got this distinction, this gut feeling that Michael's on a mission. He's ready to fuck some people up.
Well, he looks like he's put the work in. Every time I've bet against Michael, he's won.
Let me take this right quick. Carry the show, Ryan.
Well, hello. I'm going to say, carrying the show. Everyone has abandoned me, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
I see a comment that says, I hope Michael dominates the hand.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see you in a bit.
I don't know if Michael has the ability to dominate the hand. I think it's going to be, but I am going to go ahead before everyone gets back here, and I'm going to say,
Michael Todd. Let's hit it.
All right.
Oh, you can see me better at least now. All right.
Yeah, you got some light.
Too much backlight. So
got some color. So what I missed? Sorry,
I picked Michael Todd. Jody picked Michael Todd. Who you got?
Hold on. Did you say why?
Preparation.
I have not picked Michael Todd in a super match yet, and he keeps on winning, so I have to continue that streak. Like I said, I'm hoping Michael wins, but if I pick him, he'll lose. So if I pick against him, he'll win.
Well, that's a weird rationale because I have the same thing going on. Every time I pick against him, he wins. But now I'm picking him. Hopefully it doesn't jinx it.
No, I think
my streak.
This new version of Michael Todd, or I shouldn't say new version, this latest version, I think he got something to prove.
He definitely has something to prove. He's going back up to super heavyweight. Okay,
so look at ever since he came off his surgery, he's undefeated in super matches, right?
And there was some we expected him to lose. Like we picked,
So
I picked both people against him, and
I never thought that Lars would beat him.
No, but like I said, my streak continues. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, he did have a hard time against Frank. Let's be honest,
And we gave Frank a lot of credit based on what he did to Matt Mask.
Yes, and look what Frank did to Dave Chafee. It wasn't an easy match for Dave either. So Frank's no joke. Speaking of Frank, did you hear his comments?
No.
So he said, why is it that Devin always avenges all of Matt's losses, but he hasn't challenged him yet?
Who hasn't challenged who yet?
Devin hasn't challenged Frank Lamparelli.
That's interesting because I know the reason.
Go ahead.
Frank said that Devin's afraid he'll lose.
He probably doesn't think of Frank. Like he'll pull the guys that are like super high status that Matt has pulled. But Matt has not been getting those guys lately.
Yep.
And also, Devin spent a significant period of time in heavier weight classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Frank pulled both of them at 115, remember? So it's not like it would be that hard of a cut for Devin to pull 115.
But what's the motivation?
You're right.
Because we're not talking about, I mean, I think Frank's a great arm wrestler, but we're not talking about him for a title shot anytime soon.
No. I think Frank was just making the point, why hasn't Devin tried to avenge this loss of
Well,
his?
everyone, yeah, I know. Same reason he hasn't challenged Wayne Withers.
Yeah.
I don't think Wayne's the same still after that bicep with Tim. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel bad
Fair.
for because Wayne's a good guy. All right, co-main event. Ivan Matyushenko and Alejan Molotov.
I don't even know, man. This is
Hang on a second.
Come back to me on this.
Tell me that okay, so the Devin match is the main event.
Yes,
Why?
Because it's Devin.
Okay,
Honest
again.
question. I think this should, yeah, okay.
And to me, this is the most intriguing match on the card besides the Reno Mostic and Ibrahim Sagov.
For that reason right there.
I already know who you're picking, Nathan.
Who?
You're taking Matyushenko.
You're right, I am.
Because you are a mark for Matyushenko.
What's your point, Ryan?
I'm taking Alejan.
I'm going with the Kazakhstanian.
Wow, I'm on my own here. Where's Tim when you need him? Tim!
Tim always chimes in on when it's a great time for the show and then rarely shows up.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know.
I do think this match is intriguing, and it's a two-parter for me. It's A, will it come down to endurance? And B, it's who wins the A side off the start. Because I feel like whoever wins the A side in this match is probably going to win that round. And then it's just going to come down to endurance. Because one thing we haven't really seen either is Alejan pulling a pure hook puller like Matyushenko. Because A, there's not many. But when have we seen him in a super match against somebody that's not a top roller?
Fair.
And we've seen Matyushenko pull really good inside pullers, really good outside pullers, pressers.
Well, he's been around a long time.
I'm going to pause this so that way it doesn't.
He's letting in the cable guy.
Ah, is it Jim Carrey?
Hopefully we're not on a documentary witnessing a crime about to happen, and talking about it years later. Poor Jody.
Oh, man. Then we got to be witnesses to this.
Yeah.
Don't put that on me, Ryan.
We'll wait till he gets back to talk about the main event, of course. But, man,
Alejan got big. Did you see his latest videos Alejan posted of him training? Oh, my God. Oof.
Yeah. And you're picking against him.
Yeah. I think Matyushenko's wrist is going to be his ace in this. His wrist.
This is a left-handed match.
Yes. You know what I mean? And Alejan, I'm not taking anything away from Alejan. I just think speed-wise, I give the slight, like 1% to 2% advantage to Matyushenko. And I do give the advantage to Matyushenko having that speed, turning Alejan like this onto his bicep. Because we've seen Alejan lose his hand. We saw him lose his hand to Cody Merritt. We saw him struggle with Oleg Petrenko on the left. That was because round one, that was an absolute screamer. So,
man, I pulled Matyushenko at the 2018 WAF Championships and hit right through him. Unfortunately, they came with elbow fouls. But, yeah, I just think he kind of represents the previous generation a little bit. It's a great match. Can't wait to see it. I'm cheering for him, but I don't think he's going to win.
That's fair.
Hey, who?
Blink twice if you're in danger.
Yeah, let us know.
Okay.
We'll call the Mountie.
Wow.
Devin and Oleg, right?
Yep.
I don't know. I think once again Devin's going to use mind games in order
Hard
to
do that when you don't speak the same language, though.
Well, he tried it with Levon. Levon was like, "Yeah, whatever, dude," that kind of thing. Now, here's my question, and this goes back to that show where you had Ingen and Baxter and Brezink and Devin, and talking about the rules or whatnot. Is that going to play a factor? So,
are the refs going to be a little more strict in the setups?
I mean,
well, yeah, I mean that's a good question.
Is Devin going to make weight?
He said he was. He said he was 106.
What's he got to get to?
105.
Okay. Hopefully they have an IV lined up the second he gets off that scale.
Yeah, because if you look at the two of them, Petrenko and Devin right now, Devin looks like ugh, and Petrenko is all happy, eating, feeling great. And I don't care what anybody says. Like, Devin can say, "Oh, I'm not losing anything during this cut." You're losing a lot when you're cutting 40-plus pounds. It's inevitable.
I think if Devin does lose, he will not worry about that weight class anymore. Because he's all about winning, which, you think about winning, rightfully so. But if he takes a loss here, he is not trying to do all that because now you got to sustain that weight. And if you're not used to that, or it's like when remember when John came down to
95. 95. Huh? He went down to 95.
Yeah, like John was like, screw this.
He pulled 95 against Sasha, right?
Right, I think so. And,
yeah,
John was like, screw that. Never went back down again. So maybe this might be him sticking his toe in the water. If he got down to this weight, okay, let's see what happens, at 105 kg. And if it doesn't work out, you'll see Devin go right back up. Guarantee it. He doesn't like to lose. Let's be real.
Nobody likes to lose.
Well, yeah, nobody likes to lose, but that guy especially doesn't like to lose outside of Michael, so. Oh, I guess I didn't answer your question, huh?
This might be with the weight cut. The only question I would have is the endurance going to be as good as it normally is for Devin? And I'm going to go with no. I'm going to pick Oleg to win this match. It's going to be hard, man. It's going to be, but I think he's got it.
I think Devin will win, but it won't be easy.
You know what I think is going to be play a role in this match is Oleg's hand. Oleg does have a ginormous hand for 105.
Maybe those refs will, maybe Devin does drop a match or two on fouls.
You know what? I'm taking Oleg. Because I think so here's my scenario. I think the refs are going to be a little more strict. I think Devin's going to get really freaking frustrated. And I think it's going to backfire on him. And the weight cut is going to take more out of him than he thinks it's taking out of him.
Do we know who the refs are?
We do not.
Well,
it's probably going to – Haristo will be there. I wonder – I don't know. I know Haristo is for sure there. The guy from Croatia.
If you just listen to the refs' commands, none of this is a problem.
We're not going to see that, Jody.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, though. But, here's the thing. And this is the point I was trying to make. I understand where Devin's coming from because everyone wants to cheat to get, a little advantage. But it doesn't help matters when you have your significant other yelling elbow. Ain't nobody even got to the table yet. They even gripped up and they're yelling elbow. It's like, you know what? It gets to a point it takes away from the match when you have that. His last couple of matches haven't been a joy to watch, if I'm being honest.
Let me ask you guys a question. This is first of all, how many matches are there in total?
I believe 14 or 15.
14 or 15. out of 14 or 15, how many times will a competitor have an unwanted coach in their corner screaming things?
0. There'll be 1 out of all of them.
What?
Yeah.
There's no need for that, honestly.
Do you mean to tell me
there will be some yelling from
that someone is not going to insert themselves in every match they possibly can?
There's going to be one match where you're going to hear some yelling from a corner, and I can tell you what match that's going to be, and it's not the Devon match. It will be the Catalina match, because we know how those Swedish women are, and they're very vocal when coaching their teammates on the table.
So do you think that you will see Jody Laird on stage in matches that aren't Devon's?
Oh,
No.
Okay. Yes, there's going to be a possibility.
Unless it's a North American.
That's what I was going to say. You could see it during the Michael Todd match.
Yeah,
And
standing in front of Rebecca, yelling stuff.
You won't see it in the Todd Hutchings match, because Todd has nobody up there except his lady friend. And that's the only real Americans on the card. So I could only see it for possibly 2.
Okay.
Do you agree? Or do you disagree?
Why would it just went down? Why would it go back? Because
I just feel like there's opportunity there for
a month.
It's honestly
camera time, if you will.
Style.
And some people are very trying to comment.
Figuring that out. So.
And so
I am going to
mute Jody.
So we don't hear the conversation with the cable guy.
Now, like I said, is there going to be some corner advice given that's going to be loud? Yes, in certain matches there's going to be, but is it going to be excessive to the point where they're yelling at the referees that it's not center? Center is towards one person, somebody's elbows up, somebody's elbows. No.
Well, remember there was a UFC a month ago or so, and the referee actually went over to the corner and told them to shut up because excessive coaching is against the rule. And I would like to see a match without having to be distracted by somebody yelling nonsense from the side that is no part of that match.
I mean, I can recall a time when I was reffing a match and there was advice coming in, and the person, instead of paying attention to the commands of the referee, was listening to the other person and taking their eyes off their hand. So after the match was over, I went over and told that person that they needed to stop, because you're increasing the risk of injury to the competitors.
Yeah.
So I think the referee is well within their right, and you know as well as I do, Ryan, that we have the ability to go over and tell somebody that they do need to be quiet if they are being a distraction. So
what
will they
this?
What?
I cannot imagine that to be true. But I suppose it could be.
I mean, there's definitely a possibility to that. What was your other question? What was the other part of that question?
That was just about the logistics of it, about how many matches are there, that kind of thing. But
okay.
I wanted to,
that one, I mean, I could see all these other matches, even the 7-rounders, the best of 7.
Oh my God. That's some good stuff coming up.
I understand being passionate, don't get me wrong, and pulling for your significant other. Yes, she's very passionate about her husband and supports him wholeheartedly, which is great, right? I'm not taking anything away from her from that perspective. I think our only issue, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, is she does it in excess on the table, when he's on the table, to where it becomes less about the match at hand and more about her.
Yeah, I mean, when you're yelling elbow, 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 and the match isn't even set up yet, what are you trying to do? It's pretty clear that it is just a distraction that somebody, not the other person, can take advantage of.
And one thing I was going to say too is I have no issue, with the setup thing with Devin. I have no issue of Devin trying to get hype. We all do it, right? My only issue with anything Devin does on the table when it comes to setup is when he's here. So when he's set here, he has loaded, and then he starts before they even say go. He's already loading in that pronation, everything. That's movement in a rest grip, and that was the same complaint Egan had. He's backing. Yeah. He's like, oh, but I'm not. My shoulders are still square. It doesn't matter. Once the shoulders are set in a spot, those shoulders can't move this way. The fingers can't do this. Like nothing. You can't even do that. Like,
yeah. Well, there's this argument that happens all the time. Like the comments on my last match about the referees. I mean, you want to get control of the match. You gotta call it strict. Start handing out warnings and fouls. 100%. That was supposed to be the whole point of a super match. So there was no doubt on who was better because you could give away a match or two and still have an outcome.
Sometimes even threatening a warning gets you control of the match.
Yeah. It's frustrating time.
Great example. Last night I was helping Danny set up rest grip because the event he's doing this weekend is all rest grip. And I set him, I closed his hand, and he did this. I said, that's a foul. Well, I'm like, well, you moved your fingers. That's technically a foul.
Yeah. My favorite is when you're setting up ref script, you're just closing the hands. They pull their other hand off and point at something.
It's a foul.
That's a foul.
Yeah. If you say, hey, no, then we will address your issue. But if you move, it's a foul.
This is what Jay Clean says here is the thing I've been preaching forever.
I mean, it's the same
warnings
issue
mean nothing unless they result in fouls.
It's the same issue we have in Knuckles Up, Brian, where they have too many warnings and nothing comes of them.
Warnings don't mean anything. If they will not lead to you losing the match, they mean absolutely nothing. They are worthless.
Yeah. Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I see this match.
Go on.
I see fuckery in the setup, but I think Oleg's also very smart, and he's very stoic, and I think he'll just. What I would love to see, and this is me. Whoever pulls Devin, just no loads him, absolutely zero load, because as soon as he starts doing his back pressure load thing, trying to lock in that pronation / open top roll, he's going to move you off center. Just no load constantly. He's going to have to stop. Right? So.
Well, look, ZB Rogan says, this place hasn't changed. The place where all the Devin haters unite. I don't think so.
I'm not hating
I think
on
we
Devin.
tell the truth. I think we fall somewhere in the middle. Even though if you ask me for my real opinion, I probably won't give it to you. But
did I not literally just say that I don't mind Devin, fighting for height in the setup and getting to a ref script? The only thing, like I said,
that's
I don't
normal
like.
shit. That's the normal things you would do.
Yes. It's just the loading into the open top roll and pronation prior to the go. Like Egan said, if you want to load, yes, you can load here in the bicep where you're locked in place. You just can't be loading so much you're pulling your opponent, underneath you and or off center prior to the go. I mean, that's a basic rule at any tournament you go to or any match you pull.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
There's no hate. I mean, he does wonderful things for the sport. But at the same time, you also go to tournaments where his influence leads to the table and you have amateurs and guys doing that. You know what I mean? And they're behaving in an inappropriate manner, and they're like, well, I see Devin doing it. Well, yeah, you see Devin doing it, but this is a tournament. You're going to foul out. So.
Not touching that ZB Rogan, but if there was a bit of a show made there, and I can say it was probably temporary because a lot of things that have happened, and they certainly weren't on my part since then. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. We made our picks, right? We all picked for this match.
Yes, sir.
Who did you pick?
I picked Oleg. I'd like to see Oleg come through and just.
And if I remember correctly, Jody picked Devin.
He did.
And I picked Oleg.
Yes, sir. There's some differences
Interesting.
throughout it. There's only a couple matches that I can think of. There's only 2, I believe, where we all have the same pick. Oh, well, 3. Sorry. So
I will probably buy that pay-per-view, like I said, and watch it without all the fluff.
like I said, I think if we add up all these other matches total time, I don't even see them running as long as, and most of them are 7 rounds, right? Best of 7. I don't think they'll run as long as the Oleg and Devin match because that's the way it's always worked with every pay-per-view.
That's the way it's always worked. Like that one pay-per-view was 6 hours, and the Devin match was 45 minutes of that.
Yeah, and then we got a big card coming up in December too, King of the Table.
And don't forget, on December the 7th, Jody's unmuted. We have King of the North, the Arnold qualifier happening in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Yeah.
2 Arnold qualifiers in the same day, different places. All right.
No, there's not. It's just King of the North.
Yeah, I was like, why are you bringing that one up, Jody? He's not here.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
That one's not even happening anymore, I heard. Just coming to mind.
Yeah.
Nah.
Got my new passport in the mail today.
Uncle John will be there. I'll be there. Cobra will be there.
Oh, and now he's bringing it up again.
Now he's
sorry.
Promoting it.
It's okay, Ryan. I'd come to yours.
Hey, listen.
Hey, before we get off the air, let's answer this question. What is the ideal time / length of a super match?
I mean, you got best of 3 as well. What about 3?
No, 3 is no good.
All right,
Because
5.
I think 3 is, you could have a fouled out match, and then all of a sudden, the guy only has to win 1 more.
I mean, Arm Wars does it good with best of 7, but
best of 5. If we're running into situations where, let's just use this weekend, 15 matches. If they all, we got a few of them that go 7 rounds because they're title matches, right?
Most of the vast majority are.
So it's like going, that's how you make this event super long, right? So it's like going, let's go best of 5. Because if you go 6, then we all know that, okay, you got to win 4. And if you win 4, then it's like, do I need to pull the other 2? Why even do that,
Well, I mean, I think it's first to 4. You don't have to pull the other 2. It's optional, right?
So why even have it then? Do you see what I'm saying? Why even have it?
Well, I think 5 is good because I don't like somebody winning just because they have a little more stamina.
Yeah.
You get 3 cracks to figure out your opponent.
Yeah. You get 3 chances to not lose. For sure.
Yeah, I like 5 personally.
Because then the one thing we're not talking about is how many ready goes do you get? The false starts, the elbow fouls. That drains it out. That stretches that whole thing out also.
Well, it also depends on rule set, right? If you're giving people warnings that don't result in fouls, then
oh god,
7 would be way too much.
The actual time, 15 minute or 25 minutes. So perspective of a fan.
That's how you lose people. That's how you lose people.
I watched Carolina and Vicky pull in 1 hour plus long super match. That was an absolute killer, and would watch it again tomorrow.
I think 15 minutes though is probably pretty good. 20 minutes would be probably acceptable.
I mean, remember Vitaly at WAF that one year had an 11-minute long match.
Okay, well that's different.
If you're not having a bunch of
if you're locked in like that, like I remember Crazy George at the Arnolds, there was some worry that we would not get off the stage in our 1 hour allotment because Crazy George would just still be arm wrestling somebody.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said about Vicky and Catalina when they had that left arm match. They were it was over an hour to pull 3 rounds because they were in 12, 14-minute wars.
But
that match kept you engaged. It wouldn't allow the bullshit in between rounds that sometimes stretch that out. the constant arguing with the refs. That'll take time. It's like, we don't need all the extra stuff. So what I'm thinking, now that you said that, Nathan, and now that you read the question, Ryan, you know what I think? So we're not using is East versus West not using the WAF rules, right?
They use a modified WAF rule.
Modified. So the thing is, it goes like this. Hey, it goes back to the referees. Referees, they take control. If they take control, a big chunk of this will be eliminated. All the bickering, that kind of stuff. And when, hey, it's a foul. Well, no, fucking don't move. Then don't fucking move. We all grew up in this sport where you'll listen to what the ref's commands are. End of. Don't be intimidated by the actual athlete. Fuck that shit. The refs is in charge. You adapt to the rules and go from there.
Here's the deal. If Engen can't find a referee that is willing to do that, he needs to find a different referee. So find someone that has the guts to handle the backlash of what might happen if they foul out the sport's biggest star.
Oh, you're going to get a lot of shit.
For me saying that?
No. I'm saying the referee.
Oh, the referee, they're gonna
get
feel
death threats and everything else.
But see, here's the thing: it shouldn't have to come down to that. You see what I'm saying? It's already fucking corrupt as it is. Fuck that shit. Without a referee, you ain't got no match.
But Devin can't go on a podcast and say, "Why are the refs afraid?" I'm not intimidating them. It's not just the fact that what happens on that table on that stage. There's so much other shit that will happen, but it's also very clear that there's a rule set. So, find the referees that are sitting in Eastern Europe and don't even speak the language and just call it right down the middle. But you got to you got to do a WAF rule set for those guys. I mean, that's the only way to speed up that match.
As much as people say, "Oh, rap, no, it's just too many, elbow." I'm like, fucking just listen to the commands. How hard is that?
Well, like I said, I don't know if you heard me, Jody, but I said, if a person would come in there and pull Devin with a no load, whereas Devin starts doing he's going to pull him off every single time. Like, oh.
And I've said this before too. Get 2 fresh referees for the biggest match of the event. Or at least the co-main event and the main event. You can't expect these guys to referee 14 other matches and then be right on the money for the main event and the hardest match to referee.
5 hours later.
5 hours later. Remember how Bart used to referee like 3 super matches and he'd be up there with his little jar of honey squirting it into his mouth just to give him an energy boost?
Uh-huh.
Like, now we're talking, 14, 15 matches and the same 2 guys trying to stay sharp.
Yeah, mine's energy drinks and a bag of Skittles. That's how I keep going.
Ooh, yeah, I love your thinking. Love your thinking.
Yeah, but I mean, we've all done some reffing too.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I've reffed for 10 hours straight, 2 days in a row, and you're not sharp at the end of it.
Are you talking about Canadian nationals?
Canadians or like Kane's events last a tremendous amount of time because it's triple elimination.
Yeah,
I would love just to pull that, just to say I did, just to see.
Auto open. It's the best chance, really. As close as you get.
But however, I got news about something that's going to be triple elimination. I can't release it yet, but I'll tell you guys when we go off the air. Once again, sorry people in the chat.
Off the air.
I'll go on record right now and say I hate triple elimination. I hate it. But lots of reasons for that. As a ref.
Also, sorry about my sniffles. My allergies are kicking my butt right now.
Are you going to San Diego this weekend?
My daughter has her last 2 big play rehearsals prior to doing her school's doing a full thing of Beauty and the Beast. So it's going to be like a 3-hour plus long musical and plays that she's a part of. So,
gotcha.
So I will not be in San Diego. That dad life takes priority.
Gotcha.
I get you. I heard the super heavyweight class is going to be pretty darn good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Robbie's going.
Yeah, see?
Robbie is bigger than I've ever seen him.
Really?
I am not coveting up. Shut up, Jay.
Ah.
All right, guys, we're going to get off of here, and you two stick around for a minute.
Got it.
So long, everybody. We'll be back for the recap next week.
Birds flying. That's a bat.